Today on the Luke Branquinho Show.
In 2014, my first NFR, I won 3 rounds, split one of them with you, placed in the average, and was the reserve world champ to the one and only Luke Branquinho. That's one unique thing about our sport is we all have a different football. You know, same playing field, but everybody's football is a little different. And so the consistency of this game is what makes a guy go to the finals year after year after year.
Who's coming up, a young up-and-comer to watch in the steer wrestling? Welcome to the Luke Branquinho Show. My guest today is a guy they call the Alabama Slammer and is making his 7th trip to the national finals in the steer wrestling. Kyle Irwin, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Luke, for having me on.
Man, we got to talk about coming down to the end of the season. It was kind of a nail-biter. I mean, going into the last week, there were 8 guys, I believe, behind you that had a legitimate chance of getting you.
There was, and the interesting thing about it was the money that I had won and that those guys had won. I heard somebody say it the other day. I think it took over 100,000 in every event this year. I'm not sure on the breakaway, but to qualify for the national final. So, one, that speaks volumes for the association and for the rodeos that are coming up with this money. But 2, talk about a nail biter. For the majority of my career, September, if you were good, you kind of coasted because the tour finale had died down and certain things. But now with Sioux Falls and what the Mandan does there, the Rough Rider Cup, a week before the Sioux Falls, there's a lot of money, which makes a guy stay hooked longer, which keeps your top 50 out longer. I think it's great. But yeah, it had the wife and kids on pins and needles.
Well, speaking of the month of September, like you said, it used to be when Puyallup was over, if you were in the top 10, guaranteed. You were from Puyallup the first part of September, you were guaranteed the national finals. Now it went all the way up to Mandan. You better be in the top 5.
Yeah.
Because say you go and win Puyallup, win, let's say 15,000. Go to Pendleton, win 15,000. Go to Mandan and win 10,000. Go to the Governor's Cup and win, 40 if you 40% them all the way through?
I think 50-something, 56,000 if you 40%ed Sioux Falls.
There is so much money in September to be won now. You're not safe until, even in the top 5, you better stay hooked.
I mean, these committees have stepped up in a big way. We know rodeo, is pretty popular in the fall, but man, I mean, it's been great. Like I say, it's great for the up and coming athletes and even the guys now. I heard Boyd Paul Amos say one time this year, "This is the oldest guy in the steer wrestling," talking about me. I thought, oh my gosh, that's me now. But I mean, it keeps a guy like me hooked longer. This is good.
Yeah, and going back to those rodeos and I'm going to start Mandan, Rough Riders Cup, I think they call it. Chad Berger and his family, synonymous in the rodeo industry, said, hey, let's have a big event 2 weeks before the end of the season. And then Cinch with the Governor's Cup, putting that together. And this is, I believe, the 3rd year of the Governor's Cup that, it's just great amount of money to kind of close out the season for these athletes that have been grinding it out all year.
Yeah, and the 2 things that the Berger family and Cinch have in common is those are 2 people and companies that get it. They understand these contestants have been away from their families. They've been away from home for a long time, and I've always been curious when the well runs dry on a guy that has a little misfortune throughout the season, what makes him want to go back and enter the next year? Well, now when you've got these things at the end, it's creating all this opportunity. Shoot, you're glad to have the Berger family and Cinch behind the Cowboys to say, hey, here's a, like you said, possibility of $100,000 September. That's incredible.
You're right. I'm jealous. I would love, and you as well. I mean, let's face it, you're longer in the tooth compared to these other guys. Yeah. In your prime at this time of your rodeo career, the sky's the limit.
Oh, wow. And not to gloat on you, but I'll tell you one other comparison that me and Pearson did last year in years, in the last 4 years, we'll say. In 2014, my first NFR, I won 3 rounds, split one of them with you, placed in the average, and was the reserve world champ to the one and only Luke Branquinho. And I think I won $80,000. You do that in today's NFR setup, I want to say it's dang near double that. And so, that's great for the future. Your son, Cade now is in high school. I think that feeds into all the step ups that rodeo has: high school, college, amateur. Why? Because we want to get better to get on the pro circuit to have a chance at this money.
Yeah, you mentioned it. You said it. They're stepping up. And do we always feel like there's room for improvement? Absolutely. I mean,
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
still feel like the national finals go round should pay $50,000 to win
absolutely.
first minimum, and
And a suite to all contestants, a suite.
at the fanciest place in town. But I
Yeah.
do feel like it should pay 50,000 to first. And if you competed that night, 15th, and got a note time, had a tough draw, got bucked off, you should get paid. And I know we all get that payment when we show up there, 10,000. But man,
But
I'm telling you,
minus your seats, minus your tickets.
yeah, minus your tickets. There's always something.
And you're not going to take a family out to eat in Vegas for less than 400 or 500. I'm not. It's great, it is, but it could be huge. It really could, and I think one day it'll get there. We just, it's all about timing. But you're still grateful for the opportunities, but you see
Yeah.
the impact that we have on, this industry at that particular time of year at that location, and I say sky's the limit.
Yeah, and you battled it out all year. Started, I'm assuming, at Denver, which is kind of the one you go, which not necessarily as much anymore. But Denver, when I started, that was the first big one of the year. Carried
Yep.
on Fort Worth, San Antonio, Austin, Houston, all the way through the spring. How was the season comparative to other years you made the finals?
There kind of seems to be a common denominator with me, and really before Houston, Denver, it started for me at the circuit finals.
That's
in
right,
Davie,
and I
Florida.
forgot about that. Not to interrupt you, but the circuit finals counts now to the world standings, and those could They could start in October.
Oh, huge! It was an $11,000 circuit finals for me, which qualified me for Colorado Springs. Right away, you leave with momentum, thinking, "Hey, this is good. We got it going our way." Oh, the winter wasn't bad. It seems like I broke a lot of barriers for big money, but you stayed right there at them, and then got in with a good group this year. Rodeo with Stetson Jorgensen, Tyler Wagspat, and Cash Robb. It was a lot of fun. You pushed each other, and man, the competition now just you better have your hammer cocked, and rode a bunch of different horses this year, but that's something that's never really bothered me as far as being a mount guy. And Colorado Springs was big. Split it with Cash Robb. Cash won the dang Ranger. I still think we should arm wrestle over that. I didn't like the tiebreaker. No, I'm kidding. Good for Cash, but still, you leave Colorado Springs with 14,000. Calgary was huge. I will say this: I need to do better with the tour rodeos. If it was a tour rodeo had a T at it, I
No
couldn't
good.
throw two down. I could win every round. I won a round at Ogden, 1 second round at Spanish Fort. All these rodeos. But if you had to throw two down at a tour rodeo, it seemed like I couldn't do it for nothing. So no Sioux Falls tour deal for me. But that's what I was thinking the other day, man. That's still huge. I've got 115,000 when I ended the season. Right now, and no tour finals. Like
Right.
that should make the circuit guy want to get off the couch, because I just proved to you it's very doable. It's very doable.
Well, we're going to go to break, and we come back, Kyle. We're going to talk more about this season and the ups and downs that the rodeo trail provides to a cowboy.
Absolutely. That's one unique thing about our sport, is we all have a different football. Same playing field, but everybody's football is a little different. And so the consistency of this game is what makes a guy go to the finals year after year after year.
Welcome back to the Luke Branquinho Show. Kyle Irwin, the oldest steer wrestler in the field at the national finals this year, is joining us. Kyle, thanks for joining us here on the show.
Hey, thanks, Luke. I'd like to add to that I got a fresh start with you when I was the youngest, so here we are, the oldest. Get interviewed.
Full circle. Full circle. Well, when we went to break, we were talking about, the ups and downs of rodeo and the big wins that helped you get there. But also, people don't understand the downs, the man, I shoulda, coulda, didn't do this, that would have helped me get even farther in the standings.
You probably know it just as good as anybody, the math that goes into this when we plug all the numbers in, the percentages you need to be winning at, really how much you need to be winning at each rodeo. And when you add it all together on a weekly basis, I need to win this. I figured that, you kind of figure that out right away. Everybody gets to wonder, what's it going to take? Fifth after Cheyenne, is the money?
Yeah.
Who the heck knows anymore?
Right.
And it started out for me. I think the first week was kind of slow. Make the short round at Reno, miss one in the short round at Reno, but I started picking up checks, and then I want to say there for like 3 or 4 weeks, I didn't have less than a $7,000 week. And then the month of July turned into like a $60,000 month for me. But like we mentioned earlier, with these tour finale and with all this stuff, you have to maintain. I want to say it's like a $1,300 or $1,400 per rodeo check, average to qualify for the finals this year is what it took. And it's tough. One of the struggles this year that we saw the most was the cattle. We saw more herds have to be mixed. Not that it's a bad thing, but you run out of steers when you have a rodeo.
Luck of the draw. Let's be honest.
Oh.
When you mix herds like that, it comes down to luck of the draw.
100%. And a lot of our rodeos now have gone tournament style or, elimination after one.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing with that or not complaining about that, but that makes the draw that much more relevant.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Versus your two-header where if you get by a bad one, you come back with a good one, you're okay. So it just kind of made it where, not that you want to say, hey, let me know what I got a week ahead of time so I might not have to go to that rodeo. But, it just made it where you really had to stay mentally sharp and focused on almost the draw didn't matter. I remember hearing a guy say one time, when you draw a bad one, still try to max out the barrier, catch his head tight, and make the best run you can. It's the only practice we get.
Well, and you said it perfectly, and I've thought this my whole career, but I never thought of it as the way you just said it. If you have a bad one, we don't get a lot of practice when we're out on the road. That is your practice. So you blow the barrier out, get as good of a start as you can, ride your horse good, get his head and crack him back and try to bust him. And to that point, you never know. You might be able to win something if you go and do your job. And I've always said this. I said, it's not me against you. It's not me against anybody else. It's me against that steer I got drawn. You may not win a check, but you won the battle of, I did my job, and I know when I have a good one, I'll be able to do my job and win.
Absolutely. That's one unique thing about our sport is we all have a different football. Same playing field, but everybody's football is a little different. And so the consistency of this game is what makes a guy go to the finals year after year after year. And that consistency comes from when you have those bad ones, you still maxed him out every area that you could. Horsepower is another big up and down. You have horses go down, get hurt. Right now, man, if a guy had a Pez dispenser of horses somewhere that he could flip some out, and the best ones, I can name the guys. I'd probably forget one or two on accident. It makes my mad, so I won't. But the best guys aren't going to sell their horse right now either.
No, why would they?
Yeah, absolutely don't. So to me, it would seem like somebody that's in the horse industry should be making some bulldogging horses.
Well, I think the team roping industry's put a pretty hefty price tag on the prospects.
Man,
it makes it tough.
It's tough. It is.
It used to be, which I know you know this, but it used to be, a head horse that wouldn't score and kind of be a little strong. You can get them pretty reasonable. Now, with the start as fast as they are at these World Series ropings and all the team ropings, they don't have to score. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I had one the other day tell me, he said, hey, man, I just want my money back out of him. Okay, what's his deal? Well, he gets strong, wants to run by. How much you got in him? $25,000. I said, your problem cost me $25,000. I can't do that.
Well, not only that, if they don't make a bulldogging horse,
I don't team rope.
A $25,000 piece of yard art
right.
over there. A yard or grass lawnmower or mower, I guess you could say, pasture mower. But no, that's crazy. We're talking about what it takes to make it. I remember back when I was going hard, if 75 rodeos, 80 rodeos, it fluctuates every year. But it used to be average, if you averaged $600 a rodeo, you made the national finals. And then every year it would creep up a little higher. But would you say 1,300 is what you had to average at a rodeo now?
I want to say if you average 1,300 a rodeo this year, that was kind of the deal. Let me check my math right quick on this calculator because I love doing this. But if you went to 80 rodeos, 1,300 rodeos, no, that's 104,000. That wasn't it. So it's a little more than that. Yeah. And that's pretty neat. I remember one time you told me, that was back when we could only go to 70 and you could unofficial your circuit rodeos. If you couldn't win 50, it was either 15 or 1,800 for first, don't go to it, or you got to unofficial it. And that was a pretty good rule to go by. Well, now those figures at 1,400 a rodeo to make the finals, you almost gotta, you need third or fourth place to pay 1,800.
Well, and people don't know it. The fans watching that are fans of rodeo, there is so much that goes into the thought process. You got 80 rodeos to go to. You might drive by 20 rodeos a year that add $5,000, but they don't pay enough for you to go in them, and you can't unofficial them and count them for tour rodeos. And for me, I wasn't going to go season a horse. I wasn't going to go train horses in unofficial rodeos if it didn't count for the big goal, and that's a gold buckle. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to talk more with Kyle Irwin. A guy like you, say you next year after the finals, like, hey, I'm done, I'm retired. You still have the ability to go down circuit rodeo and not make a living rodeoing, but go enjoy it and still be able to help pay some bills. Welcome back to the Luke Branquinho Show. Kyle Irwin, 7-time National Finals rodeo qualifier at the Thomas and Mack, the Bright Lights. Viva Las Vegas, Kyle.
Oh, yeah. We're looking forward. I think my kids want to go back just as bad, if not more than I do. Tripp told me the other day, he said, I'm going whether you make it or not.
I like his style.
Yeah.
He wants to go get on that bucking machine up there.
He does. He loves it. And when he gets over there, he gets to hang out with Bear and Stetson. And, he loves that Enoch Hall. And they run around, I was telling somebody just the other day, it's pretty unique to watch that city of all cities transform for 2 weeks into cowboy town. I love it when they open those gates for the grand entry and they play at cowboy town. You take off running where you fly. I mean, that's what Vegas is for 2 weeks in December.
That's it. And I could still smell, this is crazy. I could still smell that fragrance. I'm going to call it a fragrance.
Yeah.
But that first night of the Thomas and Mack, that dirt in the arena, the steel, whatever it is, it just has that smell to it. And I could think about it, and that smell comes back to me. For you to be able to still have that feeling riding down in the arena, for the career you've had and still be able to do it, that's pretty amazing.
That'll be things that'll live forever in your memory of when that gate flies open, and because of the pyro for every opening every night, it's almost kind of foggy in there for a second, but once your eyes adjust, man, there's an energy. It's an energy like no other.
Yeah, and something that I think as athletes we don't ever want to not feel, right? Those years that we missed those, that it's like you're sitting there going, I need to get back there. It's almost like it's a drug.
Sitting home watching it was maybe the worst thing for me in 23. And then last year, 24, very grateful for the opportunity to get to Hayes for WAG, but that was maybe even worse. Being there and watching everybody win the money and you're getting a piece of it, but thinking, man, I got to get back to the practice pen. I've got to, and puts things into perspective. But with the kids getting older, you think about, it ain't about me as much anymore, but this is a fun way to make a living. Is kind of what we do down here in Florida anyways, and the kids tell you they want you back there, so we all work at it together.
Well, a guy like you, say you next year after the finals, like, hey, I'm done, I'm retired. You still have the ability to go down circuit rodeo and not make a living rodeoing, but go enjoy it and still be able to help pay some bills.
Absolutely. And that's what's so cool to me about the opportunity with the circuit system and these circuit rodeos. And the Southeastern Circuit Finals pays $3,000 a round. It's one of the biggest paying circuits. It's in South Florida in November, right there right by Miami. It's a pretty good time. Take the family down there. You're still going to the beach. And, I love everything about it. We're going to go to break. And when we come back, we're going to wrap up with Kyle Irwin. All right, who's coming up, a young up-and-comer to watch in the steer wrestling? All right, Kyle, we're going to do some rapid fire. I say rapid fire, but a lot of people just kind of, we go on and on. But anyway, all right, favorite rodeo? Favorite rodeo would be Houston, Texas. Not a bad one. Favorite NFR moment? Winning the average 2022. Favorite PBR team? Oh, it's got to be the Florida. What are they? The Florida Freedom. They're the Freedom. Yeah, Florida Freedom. Don't they have the Krember, John Krember on their team? Yeah. Rides the bulls, no shoes, no shirt.
You see style.
Yeah, man, that's a country boy. He's got to be from the south. Where's he from?
Brazil.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Well, dad from Brazil. He's from Texas.
Yeah.
But anyway. Favorite rodeo tradition?
Kind of like watching the hat stomping at Pendleton, but strawberries and cream at Pleasant Grove. That Stockton always like that. I love that.
Yeah, that's
or
always
going
good.
with you to any random steakhouse and normally Brazilian steakhouse. I like going to eat with you. That's a good one.
Favorite rodeo event other than steer wrestling?
Saddle bronc.
Classic event.
Yep, it is. I know that's kind of random. I like calf roping too. That would be third, but just saddle bronc, man, it's pretty cowboy.
Yeah. All right. Who's coming up, a young up-and-comer to watch in the steer wrestling?
Trevor Johnson. I believe he won the rookie this year. Quiet kid, good kid. Keep your eyes on him.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's been fun watching that kid on the Cowboy Channel. Well, Kyle, I can't thank you enough for joining us here on the show. We're all looking forward to a very successful and a very lucrative 2025 National Finals Rodeo for you.
Hey, thanks, Lou. We are too.
I appreciate it. And thank you all for watching.